morning, it's Molly from Ponder and Ply. I know I said last time that I was going to stop saying good morning, but it's morning here, so I'm going to continue saying good morning. So good morning from London, hello, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. It's time for another podcast. This week I'm going to be talking about my works in progress. I've started a couple and progressed on some, so I'd like to talk to you about that. What's going on this week? I guess I've been really busy with work, to be honest, which hasn't really changed. They're refurbishing our offices at the moment, so I'm spending a lot of time at home, but I was in the office the last couple of days. I've actually only just got my voice back. I sounded like a cool girl. No, I sounded really husky for like a week. Yeah, so that cold that I was moaning was kind of not really going anywhere. Came out full force, but I'm on the other end of it now, which is good. I've actually been in the flat on my own. Boyfriend's been away on business in Germany, but because he was away in Germany and it's basically Christmas time, I asked him to bring me these back. These are Lebkuchen. Oh my god, these are my favourite things in the world. I love them so much. For anyone who doesn't know, they're a traditional German, I believe they're originated in Germany, but I always get them in Germany. Christmas biscuit cookie. It's like really soft in the inside. It's ginger and cinnamony, and then you've got the icing on the outside and the chocolate on the bottom. They don't always have the chocolate on the bottom, but I love the ones with the icing, and they're my absolute fave. So I don't have a coffee this morning, although they go very nicely with coffee, because I've just been eating these for breakfast. It's times like this I'm really glad that we don't live in Germany, because they'd be the size of a house by Christmas, or I'd choke to death on them. Okay, so today I'm talking about 3 of my works in progress. 2 of them are knitting and 1 of them is sewing. I've actually been sewing. So I'll get started. So the last thing before I start, which I always forget to mention, is what I'm wearing. So I have got the party top by Abby Knits on. I believe I've shown this on this podcast before. If I haven't, I'll pop in a picture so you can see it on me, but it's got a beautiful eyelet detail on the arms. I've edged it in this little pink. That's not part of the pattern, I just wanted a little pop of colour. Fits really well, I love it, it's really comfortable. It's less really for this time of year, because I've done the 3/4 length sleeves, which are actually coming to with another project in a second. I feel like it's not really a wintry jumper. This is more like spring-ish, but it's good for around the house at least. And actually yellow I find really hard to wear. I really wanted to make a yellow jumper, which is why I made this, but it doesn't really go with anything I wear. Okay, let's move on to my projects. So I thought I'd start with my most recent cast on. Again, I think I've already mentioned this in another video. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have hopefully helped me decide in my stories what colours I was going to use. So I am doing another test knit for Jessie Mae. I seem to be doing a lot of those at the moment. This is for the sheer V sweater. Everyone started a couple of weeks ago and I was waiting on my mohair to arrive, and then I got distracted with another project, so I am a little bit behind everybody else. But I started this, what day are we now? 2 nights ago. I started this Sunday night. It's now Wednesday, but I haven't touched it yet this morning. So this sweater starts bottom up. So I am working the bottom at the moment. I did a decent amount of ribbing. Then I am just working stockinette in the body, so it's actually working out very quickly at the moment. So the main body yarn you would have seen before in my video on what I picked up for the knitting and stitching show. So that's this one here. It's Drops alpaca. It's not 100% alpaca like the other yarn I picked up. Alpaca content, so it's really soft and slubby. And then this is the mohair that's arrived. So if yeah, you can see all the colours in that. So it actually reminds me of the Stone Opal. Do you know the ones? It's just got, it's a pink, but it's got lots of other colours in it. It's kind of like slightly, it's a really strange colour, to be honest, and I really like it. So it was between this and a light grey, and the response was overwhelmingly for this colour rather than the light grey. I really like the mould effect it's having at the moment on the jumper. The pink's actually standing out more than I thought it would. I thought it would blend in a bit here, but anyone who hasn't seen it, I'll pop up a picture. This design by Jessie has a big V of an intarsia, and it's entirely mohair for that section, so this jumper is going to have a V in that pink colour, which I'm quite excited about. That's the reason I personally was leaning more towards the pink than the light grey, and I'm definitely going to use the light grey for something else, maybe a fuzzy jumper, maybe one of the petite knits, what was that jumper called, the one everyone's making, no frills sweater. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this is coming along. It's quite soft. I suspect when I block it, this one's going to get a lot softer. So I'm making a size large, which is different to normal. So usually when I'm test knitting for Jessie, I will knit a size medium. But as you may remember from my diaphanous raglan, I made a medium and I wish I'd made at least a large. So I think because Jessie talks a lot about how she likes, personally for her style, likes waist shaping to emphasise her waist, especially because she has a bigger bust, which I completely agree with, but I have a lot of sweaters like that, or a lot of clothes generally that come in at the waist, are looser around the bust, are just generally more form-fitting, and I feel like there is a massive gap in my wardrobe for stuff that's just a bit looser. I feel like it's a very pretty jumper, and it would just look really nice rather than being snug to my body, just sort of draped over. It's not going to be big, it's only one size bigger than what I would usually make, and I think there's only, it's 0 to 2 inches of positive ease for each size, so at the very most I'm looking at 4 inches of positive ease, which isn't loads. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out. It doesn't look too big at the moment, but we'll find out. Yeah, this is quite funny, to be honest with you, because when I saw this design on Jessie's Instagram, I misunderstood the design entirely. So the first one that she showed was in a really light pink, and the mohair that she used for the V was in pretty much the same shade as the fingering weight yarn. And so when I saw the picture, I saw the V, but I thought, because nobody was wearing it, it's shown on a hanger, like Jessie shows most of her things on a hanger, which I understand why she's doing, but sometimes I find quite hard, because if you haven't got a body in it, sometimes it's hard to see how it's meant to fit, and B, like now, I entirely misunderstood the construction. So you've got that V, but because it was the same colour as the background, and you've got the background on it, I thought the V was a cutout. I didn't think it was intarsia with mohair. Maybe it said in the description, I'm not sure. I don't always read the descriptions, but I thought that it was like a cutout, and I was really quite excited about that. And I also thought that the V was going on my back. So I thought it was a cutout V on my back, and then everything else had like the wide arms, and I was really excited about that because I had originally started designing a jumper similar a long time ago. It was a different stitch pattern and a slightly different shape on the arms, but I had that deep V in the back, and it's been on hold for ages. It just wasn't quite working out how I wanted, so I've sort of put it to a side and with plans to pick it up eventually. But I thought, oh, well, I won't need to, because that's what this design is. That's not what this design is. It's not even similar. The V comes out the front. It's a mohair intarsia V. Yeah, and like I said, it's out the front. Actually reminds me a little bit of the As If tee by Knit and Crochet, which is on my list as well. But I was thinking I may just wear the V at the back anyway. I still think that would be really cute, especially if it's a deep V, and you just have that at the back, and then you have the higher boat neck at the front. I'll try it on both ways. Maybe I'll wear it both ways, but I haven't read far enough in the pattern. Maybe there's some shaping around the neck that I might need to omit, so that that's not an issue if I wear it back to front. I don't know, I haven't read it. That's really naughty. I know when you test it, you should probably read everything ahead, but I just read a section ahead at a time. So anyway, I'm carrying on Stockinette Island for a while. I've got a couple of inches left before, I think I've got about 3 inches left before I start doing the intarsia. So yeah, that's number one. So the next one I have to show you is one that you've definitely seen before. It's the Oshun by Christina. So I watched an interview with her and Christy Glass Knits, and she said her surname and it was completely different to how I pronounced it last time. Because I pronounced it, I think, Danaee, and I think it's like Donna. I don't remember. Okay, I'll have to rewatch it for the next video. But it's Christina, insert surname here. She is Xtina with Wolves on Instagram. I'm sure you guys know she's recently released a book and she's got tons of designs. Her designs are amazing. So I have been making Oshun in that neon pink. That's probably blowing out, but I am nearly finished. So I finished one sleeve, I finished the bottom, and all I've got left is the last sleeve. Now I could probably finish this in an evening, but I've been working on my test knit because that's actually got a deadline, so I will finish this at some point, but it's been sort of put on the back burner for a little bit, which I'm a little bit frustrated about because it's so close to being ready to wear, but really the time knitting I spend should be on my test knit, so at least until I've got a substantial portion of it done. Maybe once the intarsia is done and only the sleeves are left. I am obsessed with this jumper. I've tried it on already, the fit is amazing. So I went with a size 3. Based on the recommended ease and measurements, I was between a size 2 and a size 3. I am so glad I went for the size 3. I think I mentioned last time I didn't swatch for this. I just went down a needle size, which I generally do on almost everything I knit because I knit quite loosely. But I am obsessed with this. I think I'm going to wear it so much. I know it's very loud, but I really like it. I'm imagining it with like a little navy skirt, tights and boots. I don't know, just play it down with really plain colours and then just have this as my statement piece. I know I've said that before, that I like my wardrobe to have quite plain basics and then to have something really bold. And quite often that really bold thing will be my knitwear. Really bold or different or stand out or not everyone's cup of tea, but I really like it. So I'm obsessed with this. I love it. It's going really well. It fits incredibly well. I find that jumpers, so the Oshun jumper starts top down, and I sometimes find it hard to get a really nice fit on my shoulders. I'm not sure whether I'm just weirdly proportioned or not conventionally proportioned, but this one, because of the ribbing, it fits so snugly. The fit is excellent. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. It won't be too much longer until you can see some pictures of it on me. Yeah, so that's a good one that I've got on the go. Okay, so if you only want to hear about knitting, this is kind of the end of the podcast for you. But I do have one more whip that I wanted to show you, but it's a sewing project. So again, those of you that saw my video about what I picked up at the knitting and stitching show will know that I picked up some fabric and a pattern. And despite me deciding not to pick up anything like that when I went, or at least, yeah, I had planned not to pick up anything sewing related because I've got a lot of fabric here. I've done almost no sewing this year, so the likelihood of me doing it was pretty slim. But actually, this weekend, I started making my Tilly and the Buttons Cleo Pinafore. So I will show you now. That's just the top of it. I've actually done maybe 2/3 of the instructions. So I've created the front and the back, joined the panels together, added the front pocket. I actually added, so I used on my sewing machine, and I'm so pleased with this. I used my sewing machine, one of those, so I've got quite a nice sewing machine with that has sort of like stitch patterns that you can use. It's not super fancy, there's not loads. I used some contrasting like burnt orange thread, and I feel like it goes really well with the brown. It gives me that kind of 70s feel. For the pocket, I also, so cord has those vertical lines running through it, but for the pocket I cut it out on its side so that the lines run horizontal, just to make the pocket stand out a bit. I've got the back piece ready, that's the side. So really all I've got outstanding is the straps for the shoulders, and there's a facing for the inside of the neckline and the back. So if I just show you, that's the facing that I've cut out. So I've just used you're meant to use the same fabric as the rest of it, but I wanted something a little bit thinner. It's not particularly thick cord, but I just thought it will sit nicer if I use something thinner. So I've just used a sort of like 70s style cotton that I had around. It's like really paisley, I love it. And then obviously I've got the interfacing on the back to stabilise it. So this is going to be joined up and knit around the neckline. And then I've got they're inside out at the moment, but those are my straps that I need to sew and attach. So the way that this pattern works is that you've got like a traditional dungaree dress. You've got, oh, sorry, my nose is blocked. Like a traditional dungaree dress, these straps come over the shoulders and then buckle, or you can use buttons. But I want to do something a little bit different. I don't know if it's going to work. I may have to end up undoing it, but I've cut twice as many straps out, so there's now enough pieces for 4 straps. I think, yeah, 4 straps. And I'm going to do straps at the front, straps at the back, and then tie them in a bow at the shoulders. I just thought it'd be a really cute, different design technique. Obviously, when I haven't sewn in ages and I should really get better and practice and just follow instructions, I've decided to hack it and do something different. It's just my style. Oh yeah, and then the hem's outstanding as well. But I'm really excited about this one. Maybe I'll get time to finish it this weekend. The boyfriend's has just come back, but he's going away on business again, so I've got a Sunday to myself. That might be a really nice way to spend my Sunday. I actually think I'm going to cut this one short now. I've spoken about all my whips. If you saw my whips video, the first one I ever did, there were quite a lot of other knits. Most of them have not been finished unless I've told you otherwise, and I'm still working on them, or they're just taking a sort of a side thing at the moment. I just don't want to go back through the ones that I've already spoken to you about because I haven't really got any progress on them. I've got like the Hermione socks, the Zweig sweater, that cable knit sweater that I was making myself. What else have I got? May just be those 3. As if 5 knitted whips is not... Actually, to be fair, for me, that's not that many. I think I've actually finished a fair few. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening to me. Let me know what you want to see, guys. I'm going to stop it there then. Thank you for joining me this week. I'll be back again next week. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next week. You have to wait and find out. Have a lovely week, and I